Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.
Visit elmhurst.org to explore the new City of Elmhurst website. Find out the latest Elmhurst news, pay utility bills and parking tickets, report concerns, and much more. Elmhurst.org is an ideal way to discover what Elmhurst offers your business, your family, your life.
Okay, thank you very much. Our program will begin after dinner while dessert and coffee are being served. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mike Himmis up to say grace.
Loving God, bless all those gathered here today as we come together in friendship and fellowship. Thank you for the blessings of our individual and collective God-given gifts. Place in our hearts the desire to make a difference to our families, to our community, to our country. Give us balance in times of distraction and uncertainty. Help us move toward our goals with determination and always with an abundant sense of humor. Thank you for food in a world where many only know hunger, for our faith in a world where many only know fear, for friends in a world where many only know loneliness. We ask your blessing upon Blanche, who's dedicated her life to service to humanity. Continue to watch over her and her family. Please bless this food we are about to share, those who prepared it, those who serve it, and those who have contributed to make today the special occasion that it is. For all this, we give you thanks. Amen.
Good evening and welcome to the 63rd Annual Distinguished Service Award presentation. First given in 1951, this annual award is a Jaycess way of recognizing a citizen for his or her long-term dedication to making Elmhurst a better community. Our criteria for selection is simple. We look for someone who embodies the beliefs of the JC Creed, which you can find on the back of your program. And after tonight, I'm sure you will all agree that our special guest exceeds all of these. As you can see on the inside of your program, we have listed all of the past recipients for the last 63 years of this prestigious award. Now, I know the print's a little small. I'm going to have to move it to 2 pages, right? If you look around the room, you will see some of our DSA alumni in attendance. And towards the end of the program, we will ask them to come up front and give them an opportunity to receive our guest of honor in this very exclusive club, okay? The Elmhurst JCs are honored and proud to recognize our dear friend, Blanche Hill, as the 2014 Distinguished Service Award for her years of service and dedication to the Elmhurst community. Now, I spoke to Blanche earlier this evening. She asked me to keep it brief. And as you can see, I have 3 pages here. So I'm going to have to just cut this out, especially since the Blackhawks are playing tonight. All right? Heard from a couple of people. So if anyone wants to give updates, we'll be glad to do that. Okay? So thank you for sacrificing some of your time to honor our guest. And with that being said, I would like to introduce our first speaker, a woman very dear to the heart of our recipient. In fact, she's known Blanche all of her life. Please welcome Honorable Blanche Hill Faywell.
Thank you.
Don't look at the light.
Yeah, really. My name is Blanche Hill Faywell, and I'm the oldest of Dave and Blanche Hill's 4 children. According to them, I am the bossiest. My brother Dave runs Superior Ambulance. My sister Laura Bushnell is married to Dr. Bill Bushnell, who has his practice in town. And the youngest, Suzanne Armstrong, is married to Tim and is an executive vice president and general counsel at Suburban Bank. Those of you who know my dad probably would remember him saying that he has 4 children. 2 turned out great and 2 are lawyers. My mom has 9 grandchildren and 1 great-granddaughter who was here earlier and had to leave. Growing up, we were taught by example. We learned about hard work and perseverance when my parents started Superior Ambulance in 1959 in a bedroom of our house in Bellwood. There were multi-line telephones in almost every room in the house where the ambulance calls came into. My parents answered those phones 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Mostly my mom answered the phones while my dad and a neighbor ran the ambulance calls. My mom also did all the bookkeeping and billing. For 7 years, until my parents could afford to hire someone to help answer the phones, they did not leave the house together. When my youngest sister, Suzanne, was born, my grandfather drove my mom to Elmhurst Hospital while my dad stayed back and answered the phone and watched the kids. My parents also taught us the importance of service to others. My mom volunteered at Elmhurst Hospital and later served as guild president. My dad was active in Rotary. For years, while we were growing up, there were Rotary International Exchange students from all over the world living with us. We learned to say hello in a lot of languages. Growing up in Elmhurst in the 1960s, I was the only kid that I knew whose mom worked. My mom worked more than full-time, but she still found time to volunteer with my Brownie and Girl Scout troops, make cookies to take to school on our birthdays, and even sew my 8th grade graduation dress. In 2nd grade, my teacher kept insisting that I hadn't returned some form. I knew that I had. Finally, in exasperation, she said, "Here's an extra blank one, go get it filled out." Then she looked down and noticed that it had already been filled out. My mom had typed it, a first for that teacher. In 4th grade, my mom discovered what she probably considered at the time to be the greatest contribution that science has ever made: permanent press fabric. My mom was a woman ahead of her time. Mom, congratulations on receiving the Jaycess Distinguished Service Award. You deserve it. There's an old Chinese proverb which says, "A life is never ended until all the lives it has touched have ended." My mom's legacy of service will continue for generations. Congratulations.
Thank you, that was wonderful. I would now like to bring up our Honorable Mayor, Mr. Steve Morley.
Thank you, Steve. Let me turn this off. I got a call yesterday when I was being interviewed on TV. Someone saying, "I see you on TV." I know. Again, thank you to Elmhurst Jaycess truly for the invite and the opportunity to be here this evening, and certainly thank you for all of the contributions that your wonderful organization makes to the community. It's certainly an honor to be here tonight, recognizing someone of the stature of Blanche Hill. I'm often asked what makes Elmhurst great, and I give pretty much the same answers. Great museums, wonderful parks, terrific elected officials, that kind of stuff. But truly, what really makes Elmhurst great, what really gives Elmhurst it, and the people who are from here and know Elmhurst know what I mean when they say Elmhurst has it, is its people. And that's a tough thing to describe in a short amount of time. But Blanche Hill is certainly someone who seizes life. I don't think there's any question about that. She certainly raised a wonderful family. Blanche and her family started 2 terrific businesses in town. I don't know where we would be without those businesses in town. But what we're really here for is the additional contributions that Blanche has made to the community. And most people get an award like this. They've been involved in 1 or 2 organizations and dedicated their time to 1 or 2 organizations. Blanche's list of contributions to the city truly read an A to Z. You could fill up almost every letter of the alphabet. I encourage all of you to simply look in your program and count. If I'm not going to list all of them, 17 individual organizations that Blanche has made contributions to, and I'm sure there's a few that are missing. I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about what Elmhurst would look like without Blanche Hill. She truly has left her mark on the city. It's people like you, Blanche, who make it easy for people like me when asked why I can say Elmhurst is such a great place to be. You are a carpe diem type of person. You're someone to be emulated and someone to be honored. I am one who believes that every day is a gift and every day is a present. And if you know Blanche, you know that she treats every day just like that and truly does seize the opportunity. I thank you for all you do. I thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the city of Elmhurst. Congratulations on a well-deserved award.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now, many of you know Blanche through one of the many organizations and charities that she supports. Now, one great example is the enthusiasm and dedication that she has brought to the Elmhurst Hospital Board of Governors and their annual fall benefit. Okay? Here to add to that tonight, I would like to invite Susan Taberski to the stage. Catch you, don't worry.
Great, thanks.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Susan Taberski. I'm the Executive Director of the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation, and I was so honored when Blanche called me to ask if I would speak to her involvement here at the hospital. I first met Blanche when I started at the foundation in 2005, and we were just gearing up to kick off our capital campaign for the new main campus building project. Everybody knows the Hill family has long been involved with the hospital. Dave Sr. was a trustee. Blanche was a member of the Guild, as we heard. Dave Jr. was a member of the Board of Governors. And our executive leadership was well aware of Blanche's commitment to the hospital, so she was recruited to serve on the Campaign Executive Leadership Committee and also chaired the Lead and Major Gift Committee. And a large part of our success was due to Blanche's help in setting the strategy for the campaign and advising us how to communicate with the community and also engage them in our project. So in 2007, the trustees unanimously voted to elect Blanche to the foundation board. Since then, she has provided great leadership, serving on our 2 executive committees and advancing the work of the foundation to promote the medical excellence within Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare. On the philanthropic side, the hospital is just one of the many community organizations that have benefited from Blanche's personal and corporate generosity. The financial support that we have received, whether it be for building campaigns or as lead sponsor for the fall benefit dinner, has allowed us to accomplish so much, and for that we are grateful. On a personal note, I want to share with you what I have learned in working with Blanche over the years. She has certainly taught me the meaning and importance of community, and I've long admired her unwavering commitment to supporting this community. Over the last several months, she has offered me a great deal of support, encouragement, and friendship as we have navigated our way through some major changes, and that is what distinguishes her service. So Blanche, on behalf of the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation Board of Trustees, I offer you congratulations on a well-deserved award. Welcome.
Now on the agenda, we have a letter of accommodation from Tammy Duckworth U.S. Congresswoman, 8th District of Illinois for Blanche. And here to present this letter is George Hynek, General Manager of Superior Ambulance.
I began working for Superior Ambulance 17 years ago. And when I started, Mrs. Hill was still there every day, still taking care of the paperwork, still taking care of all the payroll. And my employee number is 231. We used to reuse numbers. As of 2 years after I started working here, we stopped reusing numbers and we just continued to count. As of this next payroll, we will be hitting 13,000 as an employee number. I can only imagine how many there were between 1959 and 1997 when I started. So I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to say thank you for taking responsibility for all the employees of Superior Ambulance. We wouldn't be here without you. The letter that I've been asked to read, it starts, Dear Mrs. Hill, congratulations on receiving the Distinguished Service Award from the Elmhurst Jaycess. Your dedication to Elmhurst and its residents is evident through your tireless work for others. Both as an engaged resident and the CEO and chairwoman of the Board of Suburban Bank and Trust, you have continually worked to improve the lives of those around you. Whether through your assistance to Elmhurst Memorial Hospital, the Elmhurst Art Museum, the YMCA, and the ECAF, or your local park districts, your efforts have directly helped shape Elmhurst into a community it is today. It is a privilege to have such a committed citizen contributing to Illinois. Congratulations again on the wonderful accomplishment. I look forward to seeing all that you will accomplish in the future. Sincerely, Tammy Duckworth.
Thank you, George. Okay, so tonight you've heard from both the personal and the charitable associates. To bring us home, I'd like to invite Joel Herder, founding partner of Wolf & Company, back up to the podium. Where'd he go? There he goes.
Good evening, everyone. And it is indeed my pleasure and honor to be here tonight to recognize Blanche for everything she's done for our community over the years, not only in business, but all of the charities that, as you could see, that she has served so well and faithfully. But my association with Blanche goes back about over half of my lifetime, over 40 years ago. Time flies, doesn't it, Blanche, when we're having fun? Anyway, back then, the ambulance service was just getting off the ground. Dave and Blanche had started with one used ambulance. And, of course, we know the history of Superior over the years. But back then, I first met them when they had their first real office on Addison Avenue in Elmhurst, just outside of the business district. And to have the opportunity to watch the company grow over the years has been unbelievable what they've done between Blanche and Dave and their son David. The Superior Ambulance Company now is probably one of the largest employers in DuPage County, certainly in Elmhurst, but I think in DuPage County. And we all see their brightly colored ambulances on the streets every day, the brightly colored ambulances. There are some 300 of them, as I understand it now. And anytime you go to a ball game, you'll see the ambulance sitting outside Soldier Field or Wrigley Field, Sox Park. And we know that we're in good hands if the need arises. When the business was turned over to young Dave, Blanche and Dave decided that it really wasn't time to retire. And so they decided to look around, and they ended up acquiring the Suburban Bank and Trust Company of Elmhurst. And I've had the privilege of serving on their board since 1996. And I can tell you firsthand that Blanche has been a very important part of that operation. When Dave passed away, God bless him, Blanche did not hesitate. She took over, assumed the role of chairman, and she serves in that position today. And we're all very grateful for her leadership at the bank. But in addition, as some of our other speakers have indicated, Blanche recognizes how important it is to give back to your community. And when you see the number of organizations that she has served, it's remarkable. She has truly given her time, her talent, her generosity to many organizations, and believe me, our community is better off for it. So I am very pleased to be here to say thank you, Blanche, and congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Thank you very much. So now we have another special presentation tonight, a certificate of Senate recognition from State Senator Kirk Dillard, straight from Springfield. So to read and present this special award, I'd like to invite Angela Villegas to the stage, Market Manager at Suburban Bank and Trust.
Good evening, everyone. I have a certificate here of recognition from State of Illinois, Senate recognition. The Illinois Senate of the 98th General Assembly of the State of Illinois acknowledges Blanche Hill in recognition of receiving the 63rd Annual Elmhurst Jaycess Distinguished Service Award for her long-term dedication of making Elmhurst a better community, and extends its congratulations and best wishes on receiving this honor, and further commends her for her continued commitment to serving the community. Offered by Senator Kirk W. Dillard. Mrs. Hill, I am honored and proud to say that I am an SBT employee and I bleed green. I, along with my coworkers, thank you and congratulate you. Thank you, Mrs. Hill.
Now this is the time that we usually give the president of the Jaycess turn to shine a spotlight on what we've been doing. And as you can see, I'm up here, so I'm doing double duty today, as I am also the president this year. Thanks, guys, for voting me in. Okay. So just a couple highlights for us. Our biggest fundraiser of the year is coming up. That's the JC Carnival. This year we're partnering up with the Chamber, and we're looking forward to having all the families come out. Hopefully no rain this year. Now the proceeds of this carnival allow us to support all the big charities that we have around town: the YMCA, the District 205 Foundation, the Police Explorers, Ray Graham Association, ECAF, and so on like that. So with your support, thank you very much. So on the service side, we continue to work with Habitat for Humanity. We do the Salvation Bell ringing and PADS homeless dinners, or dinners for the homeless, sorry. So now traditionally, the Jaycess is a leadership development organization of young adults aged 21 to 40 who volunteer in their community. That's what the brochure says, right? So as you can see by my gray hair, I'm starting to get to the end of my tenure in the Jaycess. But what I found out from several former Jaycess is you're never out of the club. Instead, they call you a rooster. Now, I'm not quite sure why they call you a rooster. I'm sure I'll find out when I get back into that club. But I actually believe it's an affectionate term for we're going to call you to fit in the Santa suit this year. But again, I'll find out. So once again, I have truly enjoyed my time as a JC. I'm looking forward to passing the baton and, of course, many, many more years as a visiting Santa. So please sign up in December. Okay? So I would like to draw your attention to the back of your program. This is where we keep the JC Creed. These are the principles that the JCs live and breathe. And this is what this award is all about. And I think you will agree that Blanche Hill embodies every one of these principles. Faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can be best won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be of laws rather than men, that earth's great treasure lies in human personality, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. Now, after so many years, I should probably know this by heart. I do, but I know that I would probably screw it up, so if I tried it without looking. So, at this time, I would also like to recognize all of our DSA alumni in attendance tonight. And after I call their name, I would ask that each member come to the front to receive our guest of honor. So as I look across the room, I think our first honoree from 1987, Jackie Haddad. Even I think the print is too small here. Yeah. 1994, Jim Hallberg. Sure, that sounds good. Okay, 1996, Daryl Whistler. (2001) Ralph Pacciano. (2005) Betsy Hanish. (2007) Ken Bartels. 2008, Shirley Myers. 2011, Kevin and Sarah Diamond. And 2012, John Quigley. Oh, he left, okay. And Alice Doyle was here earlier as well, but had to leave early. So, and now, the Elmhurst JCs are honored and proud to announce that Blanche Hill is the recipient of the 2014 Distinguished Service Award. Please welcome her to the front. Congratulations.
Thank you. I get a clap, or do I, what do I get?
There you go. You got a nice little plaque. I thought we were going to take your picture, but I'll just leave it to you.
Where is Dee? Did she leave? Come on, Dee.
Work's not over yet.
You don't get this every day. Thank you.
Okay. I'll just put it right here.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
It's your turn. The floor is all yours.
Wow. First of all, thanks everyone for coming. you're not really missing much with the Blackhawks. I would be there too if I weren't here. So, and I want to thank really the Jaycess for all they do for our great community. To quote Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." It's funny how you get involved in different organizations. One thing leads to another. While attending a function for the benefit of Elmhurst Hospital, I was approached by Dorothy Marquardt, the widow of the founder of the hospital. She asked me to join the Elmhurst Hospital Guild, and I did. And one thing led to another. I ended up being president of the Elmhurst Hospital Guild, now referred to as the Senior Guild. So, and then while attending, let's see here, and it was my husband who drove me out to Glenwood, out on the far south side, to the Glenwood campus. And he said, "I want to show you the school that changed my life." As a little boy, he was mischievous in grade school, and his mother was always crying in the principal's office. And finally, the principal said, "I think we should send him out to Glenwood." So off they went, and every Sunday his father and mother would go out there. It was a boarding school, manual training. He learned how to milk cows, he learned how to work on a farm, and he also got an education. And he also learned, did things in the print shop. And they took that little mischievousness out of him and made him a wonderful citizen. But he was so proud of that. And later on, he was an alumnus, and then he was asked to be on the board of directors. And he became chairman of that board of directors. And then after he passed, Glenwood asked if I would like to be on the board of directors. What an honor to be out there with all of that. The wonderful people who believed in helping children, and now most of them are from the inner city. They come from single-parent families. Some of them have no home to go to on the weekends, and the faculty manages to handle that. There's a campground up in Wisconsin, and they get to spend some time there during the summer. What a treat for taking the inner city children out there and teaching them how to fish and how to do archery and how to do watercrafts. If you lived in the inner city where I grew up, just to get out of town was a treat. I grew up on the south side in West Englewood, where every day there's a murder, it seems. I went to Harper High School, the worst high school in the city right now. It was the smallest, still is. But there's a way to get out of all of that. You need help, and Glenwood does that for these kids too. Now this year, I think we had 9 graduates, and they all went on to college. So you have to really think about this. It's not familiar to most people. And unless you've been there, you don't know how wonderful it is. So that's my little pledge there, to help Glenwood. And then maybe they're not in Elmhurst, but we're represented here with other children that need help. That's EOKT has come out of that. And then when you think about all the things that are here, I used to go to the art fair on York Street. The Artists Guild in Elmhurst had an art fair, and you could buy these things there, paintings. Artists came from all over. Now that's art in the park, but it started on York Street in front of all the merchants. And then the Eleanor Hookham, who also was a great artist here, she got the foundation going, and now we have a wonderful art museum. You talk about the Historical Society, same thing. People are interested in their heritage. And just go over there. I think the exhibit this year, right now, is the Sox and the Cubs and the rivalry. And if you haven't seen it, Go on over there. You can go over there and spend a half hour, an hour, and just say, I'm proud of what we're doing here. The symphony used to be over in the college at the chapel, and you'd go over there and sit on those hard pews and listen to wonderful music and say, why, I don't even have to go downtown, it's right here. Now they're down on the south end of town on Brush Hill, and they're still a wonderful place to visit. I could go on. You know, I have people in my organization that I say, get into something, give of yourselves. Join one of these lunch, knife and fork groups. Find out what's going on and become involved. And I'm proud of Angela. She's in Kiwanis. Emmy Lou's in Kiwanis. I could go around the table and introduce them all, and I'm not going to do that because I'll miss somebody, and I don't want to do that. But Jenny was president of the Rotary Club. Elmhurst Rotary? Wow, were we involved. We had 5 students at our home in different times. We were the troubleshooters for them. They would bring these kids in that weren't getting along in the family situation they were in. So they'd stay with us. We had one boy from Greece. 2 weeks he was there, and we said, no, he's got to go home. He doesn't fit in. And then we had a couple of boys at different times from Mexico. And when we took the one boy home in a single-engine plane, there we were. We had our whole family in that plane. And we went down to Los Mochis, Mexico. We had to stop at Torreon in the mountains on the way. And there's my husband. We're not an instrument. We're flying by the seat of our pants. That was my way. I was a navigator. And then, you know, we had to go down through the clouds to land and then take off the next day for Los Mochis. And when he got home, there he had everything he had acquired while he was here. He went to York High School. He had his galoshes. I said, why are you taking those back to Mexico? He says, because nobody else knows what they are. And the first thing he did was hang from the rafters to show his brother how he could chin himself. Because he went to phys ed at York, and they didn't have phys ed in Mexico. And it was just a wonderful experience. His father, of course, was a Rotarian. Then we had a couple of girls from Argentina and Colombia. If I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry, but we had lots of foreign exchange students. And my daughter Blanche, 12 years old, after we dropped Carlos off in Los Mochis, we went on for a short vacation and then went into Mexico City. But to get there, we had to stop and ask a pilot who was coming into the airport, newly built airport, and the numbers weren't even painted on the runway. We had to ask him what the weather was over the mountains to Mexico City, because there was no radar. So, he said, you can go, it's good. So we did. And we're flying over the mountains trying to find Mexico City, which is in a big bowl. And, my husband says, we're kind of low on fuel. We're at high altitude. All the kids are sleeping because it's not pressurized. And he says, I think we're going to have to land. And I looked down, and I said, no. I said, the roads are paved. I says, we're near the city, because there wasn't anything out in the country that was paved. And there it was, right over the next ridge. Never saw anything more beautiful. And we put Blanche, 12 years old, on an airplane, and she went down to Argentina. The family met her, and she stayed in Cordoba. For 3 months she was there, and we got a phone call she'd like to stay another month. So we said, well, okay, now, that'd be fine. The father was a Rotarian, a businessman and everything. And so we didn't know the trouble he had to go through to get her visa extended. He didn't tell us that, but she stayed another month. And then in high school, she went down to Bogota, Colombia for a year. I think it was your junior high, if I'm right, Blanche. And she stayed a year there. So she became bilingual. But to do that, before she could go to South America, she had to learn Spanish. So we would put her on the train, and she would go downtown to Berlitz every Saturday morning and learn Spanish from an Argentine woman so that she learned Castilian Spanish. So even today, that has come in handy for her. I don't know how much Castilian she uses, but if someone comes into her courtroom and can't speak English and they're saying, no comprende, she goes right back at them. So I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of her husband too, Jeff, who she forgot to introduce, so I'll introduce. Only your mother could say that. Anyway, and I'm proud of all my children. I'm proud of what my sons have done, my son David has done, and my daughter Suzanne, who works with me every day and must get tired of it, but because we have lunch together, and I'm sure she gets tired of telling me, talking. And my daughter Laura, who's just has been a wonderful help with everything. Laura has gotten involved in the Elmhurst Garden Club now, and so that was the latest thing I joined. Laura's been the secretary there, and so I'm now a member of that now too. But I'll find time to do some work with it. I haven't yet. Did I miss anything? I've missed the art. Now, you talked about everything. The hospital, you know, is dear to my heart. We've got a beautiful facility, and we have to make sure that everybody respects what's going on down there, and that we get through with all of this development stuff, and just we've attracted more and more doctors. You have to come to some of these meetings. You're all invited. They invite the community and come and see what's going on down there. I think there's like 100 new physicians, a lot of specialists, and the emergency room, which my son's family group is very familiar with, right, guys? So you have to come and see and be part of that community. What else? Is there anything I missed, Mayor, about this wonderful city? You know, the schools, the people. How can you not be involved? And just remember what Margaret Mead said. I'll read it again. Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world, like the Jaycess. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And I really like to mention that the Jaycess are doing things to change the world, as is everyone in this room is committed in some way or another. I see Frank over there, the Park District. They have a meeting tonight, so that's why we don't have anybody here from the Park District. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. And Charlotte's done so much. Everyone in this room, as I look around, I'm not going to go on anymore. Thank you all very much, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Blanche. You honor us tonight. So that concludes our program for tonight. I just want to mention that we are already taking recommendations for the 2015 Distinguished Service Award. So if you have someone in mind, please reach out to a JC and help us out. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.
The Churchville Schoolhouse opens the door to the best education in history. Visitors to the Churchville Schoolhouse take a step back in time to watch history unfold in a restored National Register of Historic Places property that dates to the Civil War era. Students of today walk in the footsteps of local farm children from the early days of DuPage County for an authentic living history experience led by a schoolmarm of the early 1900s. A visit to the Churchville Schoolhouse is hands-on, educational, and fun. Participants use slate chalkboards and McGuffey readers for the day's lessons. And children will be asked to follow proper classroom etiquette. Reading, writing, and arithmetic are practiced, and students test their skills during an old-fashioned spelling bee. And of course, no school day is complete without recess featuring games of the early 1900s. The schoolhouse is a popular place for scouts and day camps too. Group visits can also be arranged for service clubs, tour groups, and other adult organizations. The Churchville Schoolhouse Living History Program is operated by the Elmhurst Historical Museum. Call the museum today to book a field trip or find out more information. Call 630-833-1457 or visit our website at churchvilleschoolhouse.org. The Churchville Schoolhouse is waiting to open the doors for your school or community group. Plan a memorable learning experience today for the best education in history.
We live in some of the best communities in Illinois. We care about our neighbors. We work hard to preserve our quality of life. But there's something we forget about in Elmhurst. A river runs through it, and it's up to us to protect it. Our storm drains flow to Salt Creek, and that means our harmful waste does too. So try using fewer chemicals on your lawn. Avoid leaking fluids from cars. And grow native flowers and plants to absorb more rainwater. Don't muddy the waters. Do your part to clean up Salt Creek.